Like something happens in the streets, like with the Quando Rondo situation. How do you know so much about a motherfucker? Like, I don't even know that much about that. You talk about he done robbed a and did this, like.
Right.
The hip-hop world has long been fraught with rumors, accusations, and rivalries, but few rivalries have reached the level of public scrutiny as the ongoing feud between Brick Baby and Wack 100. This feud, which erupted into a series of public accusations in 2022, took a particularly dramatic turn when Brick Baby accused Wack 100 of being a federal informant. These allegations, coupled with claims about Wack's supposed knowledge of the Atlanta shooting involving Quando Rondo, have fueled widespread speculation and controversy within the hip-hop community. Brick Baby, a rising figure in the West Coast rap scene, took to a prominent platform to assert that Wack 100 was actively working with federal authorities. He claimed that Wack's suspiciously detailed knowledge of street incidents, such as the tragic Atlanta shooting of Quando Rondo, pointed to his involvement with law enforcement. According to Brick Baby, Wack's ability to discuss the specifics of the case, including details that were not widely publicized, raised red flags. Wack is undoubtedly working. Brick Baby alleged, adding that Wack seemed to have insider information that only someone with police connections could possess. The Atlanta shooting of Quando Rondo, which occurred during what many initially believed was a drug deal gone wrong, has been a subject of much speculation. Quando Rondo was shot and later succumbed to his injuries, sending shockwaves through the hip-hop world. Early reports suggested that the incident stemmed from a marijuana transaction that turned violent. However, new allegations from Brick Baby suggest a different narrative, one that implicates Wack 100 as a key player behind the scenes. Brick Baby went further, suggesting that Wack's behavior consistently aligned with that of a federal informant. The rivalry between Brick Baby and Wack 100 isn't new, but their public feud escalated significantly in 2022. Both men, despite being associated with Adam 22 and the No Jumper platform, have not shied away from trading barbs. Wack, known for his fiery personality and controversial statements, has also accused Brick Baby of being a snitch, creating a cycle of mutual accusations. Their exchanges have only added to the drama, with fans taking sides and amplifying the controversy on social media. Informant. He accused Wack of being overly involved in street incidents and always having information that others could not explain. How do you know so much about what goes down in the streets? Brick Baby questioned during a heated exchange on a popular hip-hop forum. These questions led to even more probing discussions about Wack's role in high-profile cases and his alleged ties to law enforcement. Adding fuel to the fire, Brick Baby pointed out the now-deleted video from World Star Hip Hop that also made similar claims. The video allegedly outlined how Wack 100 was working closely with federal authorities, even labeling him a federal informant. Though the video was removed, its contents had already sparked debates across social media platforms, with fans and critics dissecting every piece of available evidence. This included alleged police reports and other documents that purportedly linked Wack 100 to law enforcement activities. Brick Baby's accusations didn't stop there. He highlighted the contradictions in Wack's public persona. On one hand, Wack presents himself as a street-savvy manager deeply entrenched in hip-hop culture. On the other, his alleged connections to law enforcement paint a very different picture. Brick Baby argued that these two sides of Wack could not coexist without raising questions about his loyalty to the streets and the artists he represents. For Wack 100, the allegations have been a persistent thorn in his side. While he has denied being a federal informant, his detractors continue to cite his alleged proximity to high-profile incidents as evidence of his involvement. Critics argue that Wack's ability to navigate legal challenges and his apparent immunity from street repercussions point to a deeper, hidden connection with law enforcement. They claim that Wack's detailed knowledge of incidents like the Quando Rondo shooting isn't merely coincidental but indicative of someone who is feeding information to the authorities. Despite the intensity of these accusations, Wack 100 remained. Well, months later, he's Wack 100. It wasn't until February 2023 that Brick Baby went online with Flow and said, "Out of nowhere, the world is oblivious to this. I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King V anymore." This showed why Brick had been sneered at by the feds at his house. According to Wack, Brick Baby had gone on a podcast and snitched on Durk and OTF. He's a polarizing figure. His supporters argue that he is simply a savvy businessman and a master of staying informed about the hip-hop industry. They dismissed the claims against him as baseless rumors fueled by jealousy and rivalry. Meanwhile, Brick Baby's allegations continue to resonate with those who distrust Wack's intentions and view his actions as inconsistent with the code of the streets. The situation has also reignited debates about loyalty, authenticity, and the blurred lines between hip-hop culture and law enforcement. In a genre deeply rooted in street credibility, the idea of a prominent figure like Wack 100 being a federal informant is seen as a betrayal. These allegations challenge not only Wack's reputation but also the broader perception of what it means to be authentic in hip-hop. As the feud between Brick Baby and Wack 100 continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the controversy is far from over. With accusations flying, fans and critics alike are left to sift through the claims, searching for the truth amidst the chaos. Whether or not Wack 100 is truly working with federal authorities remains unproven, but the impact of these allegations on his public image is undeniable. In a world where perception often outweighs reality, the question of Wack's loyalties will likely linger, shaping the narrative of his career for years to come. Wack 100 is accusing Brick Baby of snitching on Durk and bringing down OTF in a podcast with Adam 22. Wack revealed that according to his sources, Brick Baby is working with the feds, so you think that he's a federal informant. You think that he's definitely working. Now this is where the accusations between Wack 100 and Brick Baby get interesting, months before Little. How do you respond to the narrative that Wack has been putting out there, which is essentially him saying that Brick may be cooperating or compromised in some way because you allegedly got him? Durk and his fellow OTF shooting Quando Rondo was told by the FBI that his gang had set him up in the early 1960s. It turns out that Brick Baby and Quando Rondo were representing the same gang, and when Quando arrived in Atlanta, he checked in with his gang for protection. What was he saying, Crips? Did the cops tell him that the Roll 60s put him up? Who do you suppose he checked in with in his 60s? Because OTF had removed Quando Rondo's cousin, Brick Baby had disclosed that no one had claimed that Von's murder wasn't retaliatory. They said, "You can't say that." No, why? "Oh yeah, cause of no, like who died?" Referring to FG Cash or Lil P. The absurd part is that he wasn't the only one who snitched. Lil Durk made the same comment on the DJ Academic show when the rapper was asked what he felt about people encouraging him to slide for Von. Prompted by the Von remark, "Slide, I'm not sure whether people still say that, but they used to, and when you name a song, they seem to be saying slave on. I believe they are trolling me." And according to Durk, there was a reason those comments had long since vanished from the internet. For some reason, I don't see them anymore. Perhaps it's because of the music order, but they seem to have relaxed a little after learning the truth. During the podcast's telling session, the FBI obtained a search warrant. According to Wack 100, the FBI had come to seize Brick Baby's phone, which contained some pretty intriguing information. Brick never disclosed that the FBI had taken his phone. Instead, he told everyone that he had been charged with a felony involving a gun. The feds got on Brick in March. We didn't know this and assumed it was an Alaska 47 cake, but in reality, they came to get his mobile phone, which made things even more suspicious. Never charged because as of right now, he has no court date for his gun charge. This is odd because Brick is a gang member and a felon, and a gun charge would put him in jail for a long time, according to Brick Baby. The reason for the lack of a court date is that the DA dropped his case due to insufficient evidence, but why would they reject the charge? It's not that they rejected it, they simply didn't have enough evidence for them to consider the case and say, "Brick is such a snitch and he's lying through that huge gap in his teeth." One comment said that a known C gang member is caught with an Alaska 47 in his home, and he's sitting on no jumper, and Durk and crew are all suddenly arrested. The comment section didn't have it and thought that he's definitely snitching. A felon catching gun charges is one of the worst things you can do to get time. Another admirer said in a comment that Brick's tale doesn't match up when the courts ever declared that your lawsuit will be dismissed BC after Durk's indictment was made public. Wack 100 put the final nail in Brick Baby's coffin by revealing that the Fed I heard you say that his baby mama called Durk for a lawyer, and Durk may have dismissed it. They said, yo, you're not supposed to brush off my call when I need something like I'm the guy who does the dirt feed, but it gets worse than that, because the second rumor is completely evil. It turns out that Durk may have been involved in his baby mama's death, according to reports Lil Durk learned of. Had sought Brick's phone because Tay believed he was collaborating with OTF members on the day of the shooting and giving the hitman a dilemma. "We don't think we can win." The location of Rondo, if you go inside, have a look at report number 4. It shows that a local man was providing Quando Do's whereabouts based on his following the prior. Well, I can see where this is going, which is why the rapper from Savannah turned to social media to denounce his gang, saying they didn't have his back. It also showed that the only person who could link Brick Baby to the case was on the run, because on the day OTF members were arrested in Chicago, the feds also came for the unnamed co-conspirator in Los Angeles, but he wasn't at his house when they kicked in the doors and picked up the OT guys. The fact that Brick Baby hopped on a track and spilled the beans there, not to mention that he was Durk and trying to hide, could tie him up in this case. Now that we've dropped the 100 shots, he's in a blunt, and in another part, he raps the last one we turned it into a pack, and we got 1 million plus. The accusations against Brick Baby are becoming more obvious and public by the day, but he's not the only OTF affiliate who has been accused of telling the truth, as one of Durk's closest friends has. has been exposed as a snitch, and his story is outrageous, ranging from news reports about his baby mama's murder to his accusation that Durk snitched on him first. OTF Jam is also accused of selling out, and there is a rumor circulating that there is a person that's known as OTF Jam, and they're claiming that either he wore a wire from the moment the public learned that OTF was being shut down, or there's been a specific name that has been repeatedly criticized for being an informant. OTF Jam, of course, after damaging images of the OTF rapper getting close with the Fed emerged and went viral online, things got worse for him. DJ Academic shared a picture of the suspected informant eating fried chicken and fries in an interrogation room, and the internet tore him apart. One remark said, "Snitching on white man for some McDonald's is wild." He posted a song accusing me of being a rat or a snitch, but he was always rapping snitch on himself. He was talking about the song from back then, where Durk raps Jam and says, "Get out that Jam, I give him 50. Remember, OTF Jam had been released after serving time for attempted murder, and Durkee had given him 50 bands. He said he gave you 50, but it turned out that the feds were hunting him down after they heard Durk rapping about Jam catching bodies. While another said, "Instead of I'm loving it, I'm telling it." Two theories have been circulating about OTF Jam's reason for snitching. It turns out that this man was released from prison in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempted murder. Apparently, he was an informant who had been working with authorities for 2 years. The most bizarre part of all of this is that he allegedly wore a wire while around Lil Durk and other OTF gang members, which provided intel to the feds. One of his men is just straight petty, but if the other one is true, then Durk is one evil and vindictive guy. Jam's 12-year prison sentence for attempting to kill Durk supported him financially and made sure that Jam's needs were met, including paying for his legal fees. Why doesn't anyone say, "I know I'm the real witness because I was straight most of the time"? If you think Durk would leave him after he got out, think again, because the Chicago rapper went above and beyond by giving OTF Jam a house and a car, as well as more than $50,000 in cash. They claim that he gave you $50,000 music, but can you tell us how much he gave? You don't have to go into all that, but my brother made sure he made it possible for me to be straight. Rumor has it that Jam was recently charged with weapons and was facing a lengthy jail sentence. What's even more absurd is that, according to well-known hip-hop comments, Durk refused to cover the cost of Brody's attorney or bond when he was snatched up. Are you implying that Durk threatened him? Actor DJ Scholars disclosed that Jam wasn't too happy with Durk and chose to snitch in order to avoid going to prison. In the direction of Durk, I've been holding you down because that Jam was desperate to get his vengeance and had been wearing a wire the whole time. The life of a beloved postal worker, Octavia Redmond, was tragically cut short on July 19, 2024, at around noon. Octavia was in front of a Chicago home getting ready to mail when a stolen SUV pulled up near the vehicle later. Durk knew that getting an FBI informant murked could bring him unwanted attention from the feds, so he went after his child's mother, Octavia Redmond. A 15-year-old suspect was identified as the driver of the getaway vehicle. The suspect got out of this SUV and approached Octavia with a terrifying purpose before shooting her several times at close range, leaving her seriously wounded on the ground. The culprit then raced away from the scene in the stolen SUV. The Chicago Police Department immediately initiated an intense investigation into the shooting after the 48-year-old lady was rushed to Christ Hospital in serious condition and ultimately declared dead there. Investigation to find the culprit. As the investigation progressed, authorities used police and private camera footage to track the suspect's movements before and after the murder. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service also got involved, offering a sizable reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. They took this information to their X account, where they announced a $250,000 prize for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the suspect responsible for the homicide. Shooting months went by while investigators worked tirelessly to bring the criminal to justice. The breakthrough came when the suspect was found in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and taken into custody on a murder warrant. If this is accurate, Jam must have realized he couldn't exact revenge on Durk by using the streets, so he chose to cooperate with authorities. However, it turns out that he may not be the only informant in the case. DJ V tweeted that he had studied Durk's indictment and had come to the conclusion that there were 3 snitches in the case, suggesting that OTF Jam and Brick Baby may not be the only ones working together. After closely reviewing Lil Durk's documents, I discovered 3 co-conspirators whose identities are concealed. One of them was one of the 3 shooters, another arranged flights for the shooters, and a third informed OTF of Key's whereabouts in Louisiana. These 3 co-conspirators are most likely working with the federal government to target Durk and the other. What's crazy, defendants, is that Jam isn't mentioned in the indictment, which means he might not be guilty. In fact, his operations team, who is none other than King Yellow, started the rumor that he was snitching. However, I heard someone named OTF Jam say that they've been calling him a rat. And he essentially said, okay, I'm a rat. Well, watch this. Well, Jam broke his silence regarding the accusations, and that's when fans realized something was amiss. The OTF affiliate took to his social media accounts. To correct the record, the media advised everyone to hold off on accusing him of snitching until they saw his name on official police documents. My artist's real name is Casey J. Hester, also known as OTF Jam. Don't be upset with me if you see that name on the paperwork. He posted that the situation at OTF deteriorated after none of the OTF affiliates co-signed Jam and no one attempted to support him. Despite the fact that everyone was online yelling free Dirt, OTF Jam went one step further and accused Dario of betraying him. He initially disclosed that Durkio had betrayed him on. He snitched on me in a song and the cops were all over me after that. Oh, he's catching murders, let's get him, make a mistake and send him back to prison. It's horrible to watch Durk's affiliates stab him in the back, and Jam wrote that the OTF case is growing out of control and that more of his friends and affiliates are abandoning him. One of the few popular and surviving Chicago rappers, Lil Reese, represents the Black disciples, which Durk also does when it was revealed that Durkio had been. Everyone expected Lil Reese to post Durk like other Chicago rappers, but instead of doing so, he shared a picture of himself in jail with Durk's song Love for the Streets. Rumor has it that Lil Reese and Durk are not on good terms, according to Chicago rapper King Yella. You know, Lil Reese's mother and aunt were having an affair with Durk. I've heard that Durk was his mother and aunt, but he's not the only Chicago rapper who betrayed Lil Durk after his arrest, as it comes out that Chief Keef purchased a $500,000 necklace after Durk was taken into custody and has not yet sent the OTF boss a supportive message. Chief Keef purchased a new chain costing $500,000 on the same day that D was taken to prison. It turns out that this isn't the first instance in which Keef has been criticized for not providing a supportive environment. The first time Durk and Sosa had a falling out, he went and purchased a dirt bike rather than helping out. Another individual who stabbed Dario in the back was Mayor Katrina Thompson. Since the rapper has been a vocal supporter of change in Chicago, the mayor decided it was time for his efforts to be acknowledged and gave him several keys to the city, including the village of Bellwood and the village of Broadview. We are grateful that you are in the village of Brewery, and here is your key. The mayor announced on Facebook that Durk and his local Heroes Foundation had inked a collaboration agreement to collaborate with students from both towns to promote sustainability initiatives in Broadview. And the worst part is that, despite Bellwood's good deeds, the city revoked the keys he had been given. Mayor Katrina Thompson announced the decision on Facebook, effectively putting Durk under the bus. The American legal system presumes that everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion of the locals has even higher moral and ethical standards. 2-minute chat. Despite the difficult situation, Lil Durk is heard being upbeat and telling the caller that he is happy and motivated to get back to his family. Additionally, Dario responds to a rumor that has been circulating on social media. The rapper on the clip vehemently refutes the myth that he is in protective custody, claiming that he is not getting any special treatment and is instead on the main line with other prisoners. This claim elicited conflicting responses from the general population, as some saw it as evidence of his tenacity. The post caption read, "Just got off the phone with my brother Lil Durky, and he is in good spirits, staying positive and fighting to get back home to his kids and family." While some people continue to doubt the legitimacy of the call, it's actually an understatement to say that we're more than just street guys, men of honor and code hit the main line with the rest of our kind without protective custody. Although Lil Durk's Instagram activity suggests ties to the OTF label, posts featuring collaborations with OTF artists like Bonnie Missouri and photos with Booka 600 and Lil Durk himself hint at a connection that lends credibility to the alleged call. The lack of official confirmation leaves room for doubt as the public continues to debate the legitimacy of the audio. However, this isn't the only time someone has claimed that Lil Durk has spoken to them. Durkio was accused of speaking from behind bars in Hypno Caro's new song, released on November 1st. Hypno Caro shocked the music industry with the release of his latest song, Smirk, after an artist released a track featuring Durk providing a brief introduction. Go swiftly gained popularity because of the sensational allegation that it contains a phone conversation from Lil Durk that was purportedly made from a federal prison. This supposed call is the first time that Lil Durk has speaking in public after his imprisonment. Lil Durk is heard declaring his steadfast devotion to Hypno Caro in the song. In the song's introduction, Durkio states, "Hypno Caro, my brother from another forever legend, is off and I take your streets over. You know what time it is? Rest in peace." Hypno Caro has been under fire, with some people accusing him of being phony. Some have referred to him as a clout chaser, but as the case progresses, everyone's attention is on finding the OTF rats, and as the court dates approach, in the meantime, you may see related information by clicking on the boxes that are playing on your screen.